just can't stay. He just won't stay 7.
Yeah.
So I mean, it starts at
Hopeful.
bedtime, and 30 minutes later,
Yep.
Larry
settle him again.
Yeah. I got you.
All right, I got 9 o'clock. Get the meeting going. All right. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to
Gary.
approve minutes? Have a motion?
Second.
Second. Gary, motion, second by Tanya. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, financials. Tim.
Morning. We ended January 2026 with $2.8 billion in the bank. That's an increase of $153,000 from the year before. There's been some things going on, but we've still brought it up, even with that starting later in the year. Of that amount, 1.131 is pledge towards projects. $1 million of that is for the debt service. The other $131,000 for projects that are coming up that y'all pledged the funds. We have 1.72 that's unallocated as of the end of January. For the month of January, we brought in $137,606 in total sales tax revenue. That's up $3,284 from the prior January. If you'll notice, we did have a check to Special Olympics that you've probably seen on here before, but it got lost in the mail, I guess, and so we put a stop on the original and then had a reissue there. So one of the prior months will be an increase, and then the decrease, then we're going to have a reissue. Other than that, first month of the year, so far we're starting off on a good trend of an increase, and no issues right now on collections or anything else.
That's the important thing.
No issues.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Right, next on the agenda, funding request, get down downtown. Amy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Per your request, Frank stopped a little bit on the headliner. So you can see, Tom emailed it last night maybe, sorry for the short notice, I was waiting on confirmation from one last band that I really wanted to get, and they were booked. So y'all also wanted me to check on the insurance premium in the event of rain. And it was kind of tough to find a provider, but Jay James did some diligent research, and he estimates that whatever policy we get, we're looking at a premium of about 10% of whatever we want covered. So it's pretty high, and I think at this point I would leave that decision up to you, because we would need increased funding to cover that. Because we would be looking at minimum, I would say minimum 5,000 plus 5,000 to 7,500 just to cover the rain insurance, on top of about a $5,200 liability policy that we already cover or pay for the event every year. So, you know, the pro being that we would be reimbursed if the things are canceled. We would take a little bit of a financial hit on the back end if we did that. Out of 16 years, we've only had one cancellation. We've only canceled once. It was on a Friday night, so it wasn't a real huge investment in the bands. But that being said, it would be nice to be recouped, but I just don't know with the risk. I just don't know that it's worth the investment. But that being said, everything is 100% covered before the event starts. We do not rely on event income to pay any of our bills. Whatever we make at the end, that's what we roll into our operations for downtown projects and day-to-day operations. So it would hit Main Street on the tail end, but it would not prevent us from being able to cover our bills, because that's paid for by grants and sponsorships before we book. So that decision's up to you. Now on to the headliners. You can see that I did a top 5 choice list. That would jump up our budget in the original application. I believe that I estimated about $20,000 to $25,000 less than what some of these higher acts are. But you all, I think, see the value of having a bigger name, because with the promotions we did last year, bringing in a bigger name with billboard advertising and regional advertising, we saw a lot of new faces at Get Down, and our attendance numbers jumped up exponentially due to that. If the first of the top five is a consideration, that artist is actually from Northeast Texas, Southwest Arkansas area. So if we were to book that artist, we would really do a lot of advertising in Texas, South Arkansas, and Louisiana. So I think that we could bring, you know, I feel like people would drive 4 or 5 hours for a free concert with that caliber of an artist. Again, free admission is huge. And then you can kind of see the second, third, fourth, and fifth choices there. All of those artists, the selection is based on a group of our volunteers that have input on music every year. I'll admit, I'm not really a big country music listener, but I live in White County, and I know that that's what the community wants. So it's kind of a big thing if there's name recognition in my world, and these are the artists that not only do I have recognized their names, but I actually know their music. So, but you can see under additional considerations with a lower budget, if you all decide that this is not the year to pull the trigger and throw another 20 to 25, 30,000 toward a big headliner, then we do have some other considerations in a little bit of a lower price range. That being said, the lower price range is only lower, it's not low. We have seen an increase over the last 5 years or so. The top artist in that $30,000 to $40,000 range, he used to be on our $15,000 availability list less than 5 years ago. Same thing with the first artist in the $35,000 to $50,000 range. That artist used to also book for $15,000 5 years ago. So
What's causing the increase? Any ideas?
I think after COVID, honestly, I think that it was so slow on touring, and this is just my opinion. I think it was slow when people finally started getting out and they could demand a higher premium, honestly. I think just the economy, the cost of living, the cost of, you know, being on the road and paying for hotels and meals, and I think everything has just gotten more expensive.
I just want to verify, you've accounted for your general liability in the original ask.
Yes, for the insurance,
Yes.
yes. We always carry a pretty hefty liability with just the number of people that come, and then with the equipment that we have. And then for our riskier vendors, we actually ask like for train rides, pony rides, inflatables, definitely the inflatables. We all have them add us to their certificate, their insurance certificate, so that we are doubled up on some of our risky. So in the event of an incident, then their insurance premium would hopefully cover the cost of any damages or injury, but then main insurance would kick in after that. But yes, we are covered on liability.
Just like from your, you know, pulling out your knowledge from the past, how much have we been paying for headliners?
So the very first year that we did Get Down, in 2007, I believe, I paid $5,000 to headline. And over 16, maybe 17 years, we've gone from $5,000 to $38,000 that we paid last year.
So that's about where we are currently, is the 30, 38.
But it was, you know, it's, if you kind of look at some of these, you know, additional considerations, a lot of them don't really have the big name recognition as these tops. So,
And in your request on the 80,000, where, you know, if that was approved, what was your goal for which category we were gonna be in?
at the original request, I was hoping to book in the price range between 35 to 40,000.
And my recollection was the rest of the funds, you were looking at doing the boards, the video boards.
Toward a video wall
Yeah.
and toward the addition of some carnival rides.
Where are
right.
you planning on putting the carnival rides?
Ideally in the parking lot on Spring Street across from First Baptist Church. That's,
Okay.
it's their parking lot, but they always let us use it, and
Okay.
we utilize that.
Okay.
How much do the carnival rides cost?
I have not gotten an estimate for this year, but last year when we were looking at it, it was gonna be about 10,000 for 4 rides. It's pretty steep.
For
Now-
one day or both days?
For
They'd be
both
there for
days.
both days?
So what I could conceivably do if you all would entertain a higher booking fee and additional funding for a larger headliner, then I could kind of baby step into the carnival rides and back that budget off a little bit and potentially only bring in maybe 1 or 2 rides for this year. That still wouldn't offset the full increased cost of a larger act on Saturday night, but it would offset the
Did your group have any insight into, last year we paid 38, we had 10. If we paid 75 for Tracy Lawrence, any insight into what we could expect?
No, it's so hard to predict. We're at the mercy, of course, of the weather. We're at the mercy of other competing events. However, I think if we were to jump into the next price range for an artist, that other events would be competing with us, honestly. I think that if we did do a larger act, we've always done regional advertising throughout the state, but I really think we would advertise more heavily in Texas and Louisiana. Potentially into Tennessee a little more, because we do have quite a few people that come in from the Memphis area for the concerts every year. So I think we could probably go a little further east than Memphis to promote and do some target advertising. But, it's so hard to predict attendance on something like this. My assumption is that it would increase attendance just because you have the name recognition, and again, free concert, the bigger the name, the further people are gonna drive for it. But it would be hard to put a tangible number to that beforehand for me.
This might be a question for Matt. Considering the venue and the configuration of the venue being downtown and the streets and your limited view to the stage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is there any talk of moving this out to the community center once the community center's done? And would that area be able to accommodate a larger size crowd?
You asked me first?
Yeah, I'm asking both of you.
As far as get downtown, of course, get downtown.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
no, I get it.
You know what I mean? But as far as the venue with that new community center, yeah, it's gonna be set up for large concerts. I think it's also gonna be easier to provide a ticketed event, right? So whenever you have big names, you can charge people to come, as opposed to free events, which are awesome. But I think we're gonna have the opportunity to do ticketed events, in the near future, which I think will, be in our proximity in central Arkansas, it's gonna be a neat setting to do something like that. But, I mean, get downtown, of course, is downtown, so it's really nearly impossible to do a ticketed event downtown. So I think that needs.
Well, what my thought process is, and I know we asked you to do this, I'm just saying, if we get that big of a crowd, how are we gonna fit them downtown and have a good experience? We don't want them to come to Cersei and have a bad experience. We want them to have a good experience. Do you have ways to configure downtown and configure the concert to where we can accommodate 20,000 people, 15,000, whatever that number's gonna be?
I think the addition of screens will have a big impact. Line of sight to the stage can often be a challenge. I know that if Jeff Webb and Richard Stafford were in here, we would bring up the tree situation, because I always threaten to go prune the trees along Spring Street, just a little bit shorter than what they would prune them. But, we do cut back the trees before the festival to help with that visibility. Line of sight's pretty good straight down Spring Street. The addition of the video wall or video screens would help, because we'll have a live feed. As for the sound, it projects all the way through. So,
Yeah, sounds,
you know,
sounds
so,
like this year.
a lot of times, being able to see the show is a big deal, and those are the people that come and set up their lawn chairs at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think a lot of people just understand that it's an outdoor festival, you may not be able to see, but you're there because you can hear the live music, and it's the atmosphere and the interaction of that atmosphere that they, you know, expect.
What is the video screening cost? The rental cost for the video screening?
It's about 10,000.
And that
I
was,
don't know, I think it is something, remember in past, when we had a park department came in, a portable party, remember we was renting and all that? I think as the Cersei grow, I think eventually probably have an asset for the Cersei. I think about 25, 20, but too big screen, you could get it for, my guess, $25,000, $30,000, we have it. If the city can coordinate probably with the department, then I think it's a long term as the theater goes up, or community center, because spending $10,000 rental, I think long term is something we might need to look at it, probably have an asset for the city of Cersei, you know what I mean, so we can use them every event.
I do totally agree with what Gary's saying, because especially as we move toward hosting conferences, I mean, I'm at GovCon in Little Rock, and they've got the big digital screens at the back of the stage right now. I think that's something that we could lease out to whoever's, you know, booking the conference, and then also use, you know, for concerts and things. So I do think that's an investment that could pay dividends in the long run.
And a lot of those screens, Gary, they actually come in panels.
Yeah.
So it
Easy to
doesn't
store.
have, you don't have to put up a 15-foot screen for everything.
Right,
You can
right.
actually
Yeah.
reduce the size of panels.
Yeah, Municipal League has reached out to host a regional meeting at Robin Sanford, and state like something like that we could utilize, especially if it's mobile.
Yeah, it's easy, so, yeah, something maybe we might need to think, and if you need a system, we just purchased for our church, and it was not that much money, big or screen, so, you know, with 5-10 year warranty, you know what I mean, so I think
Yeah.
we need to probably think for long, like Holiday of Light we can use, you know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, to use it for Christmas movies,
Right,
and maybe
right.
in the park and stuff.
Good idea. Very good idea.
That'll be your pitch next month.
Does anybody have any questions?
You know?
Any more?
Yeah, we should probably scale it up a little bit, I think, only Chairman, my suggestion, for not try to get too big, because I saw your concern, I think, you know what I mean? The taste you put in a community, sometimes, you know, we try to get too excited, but then people don't see it, like, then they start writing the bad reviews and say, oh, you know what I mean, drove 3 hours, 4 hours, but wasn't visible, I could hear, so I think, yeah, I think scale up a little bit, I think, then maybe we can look at next year, hopefully we have a community center ready and all that, then we can go big, you know?
Well, I don't,
I think that is a problem that I would like to take on, having too big of a crowd. So, I don't know, I know that there needs to be some discussion on this, because, you know, it is a bigger ask, but once we've really gone in and started looking at the choices, even if we don't do the huge jump to that #1 choice on the top 5 headliner options, it's, I mean, everything's getting
So,
more pricey.
so if you originally asked for 80, 10 of that was for carnivals that you're gonna back off. We spent 38 last year. So if we took 10 and 38, that's 48. So we would be, if we did the, I mean, if Tracy Lawrence would come for 60, we're talking about 12 grand. Am I thinking about that right?
Yes,
If.
well, with a couple of caveats. In theory, yes. However, I do know that he has another offer on the table, and his asking price was originally 75. That's what the band of Vales says, 75. But his agent came back and said he would consider an offer for 60 to 75. Whether or not he would take 60, that's, you know, it's kind of a crapshoot. I might need a little bit of wiggle room to do some haggling. But since the agent bounced back and said 60, my assumption is either that other offer on the table is for that low, otherwise they wouldn't have given out that cost.
right.
Or 2, I don't know what city it's in. I do know that it's in the Northeast. So it might be one of those, if it's far enough away and he get on a tour bus and drive through the night and be in Searcy in 5 hours, then that might be a consideration also, because he might have a 14-hour bus trip if he takes the other offer. But I do know that he has sat on that offer for about 2 weeks, because it just makes me think that he's kind of waiting for something closer. The other thing along with this is that there are a few additional fees. Now, I did increase last year's music budget and roll that into this year, so I think, not the music budget, but like the logistics, sound, stage, and lights. Usually, these artists that have been around for a little bit are very accommodating. I don't do allowances for extra, we share equipment, but we usually do have a couple extra consoles. But I did figure the increase in sound and stage requirements into this year's original proposal. But there would be just a nominal increase on booking fees, just because a percentage goes to the agents. And so that's one of those little hidden costs that we end up paying on the back end.
Well, the thing is, even if we grant more and that one doesn't work, doesn't mean we necessarily have to spend it all.
That's true. We could do it reflective of what the offer comes in. It's kind of like buying a house, buying a car. It's a process.
I'm really on the fence. I'll tell you kind of what I'm thinking. I do think we're limited in space. So it's one of those, like, you can't just go huge and expect a ton more people to come when there's really nowhere to put them. So it's kind of one of those, like, because you have done so good historically of maxing out what we could do down there. You really have. It's a great event.
I have a good team.
Yeah, well, the team has done a good job. I also have to admit, like, I only know like half of the names on this list. I'm not like a old school country music guy, so I recognize a couple of them. So I kind of have to defer to y'all.
If you don't know Tracy Lawrence, you gotta give up your Arkansas.
Bro,
So,
listen,
I'm not gonna lie, you see this writing here, right here? This was done by my 22-year-old daughter this morning, and when I said, I want you to Google the top 3 songs of these artists, and these are my
tell me
notes.
what they are. Yeah, I got
thought they were gonna ask,
I
what
got
does he
you.
sing, what does she sing, and I wouldn't know, so but I do recognize these
Yeah.
songs, I just don't put the artist to the actual
I got you.
song.
Well, I think the 2-day event is really good, but I do think you also capture most of that on Saturday night. So the carnival games and all that stuff, I'm kind of like, nah.
Well, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
If we backed off the carnival and said, hey, and we paid 38 last year. If we take that 10 and put it towards an act, now you're at 48. If you just increase $12,000, you're in that top range. Now, would we get them for 60? I don't know. Are we willing to give a little more to kind of get a better chance?
And
I don't know.
That's what I would need your
Yeah.
direction,
Right.
like, I would need to know what your top, if you all wanted to increase by 15, could I have a $62,000 offer and then put in hotels, because usually I include hotels with the offer.
So Amy, is there a thought that maybe, the setup was great last year, but where your vendors and your food trucks are, so that's in direct eye shot of where they're singing, maybe move those back this way? So, that would open up more.
Like pull them down Spring Street a little
Yeah.
further.
Yeah, it would open,
Possibly.
okay.
Yes, that's a pro, because it would create more space.
It would.
The con being, we don't have anywhere else to go other than the side streets. And as we've added more section of arch, we've added spruce over the years. And the vendors on those newer streets, they just don't do as well. Because, people kind of get used to
Right.
footprint.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't be against that. I think that there would have to be some creative space management.
Sure.
But, that's something we could potentially figure out. There might need to be some more electrical work done, because, there are 2 big Entergy poles. So
think-
opportunity and see if, like, you know, you brought a good point last time that they might probably coordinate more than one event. We might, cost might go down, no guarantee, right? Unless, you know, unless they can coordinate it, we should give her opportunity if we can get it and try out and see if the
Yes,
market hold up.
You said you thought the boards were 10, the video boards?
Well, I've gotten, there are two size options, one was 7, one was 10.
So, you know, if we're talking about 80, is it fair to say, you know, we want our 80 to go, you know, to video boards and headliner? And is that enough to,
Because when you calculate in, remember that we have a stage down in Spring Park for the kids. So we have a few, minuscule booking fees for that. We're talking like magic shows and, you know, Cowboy Peak. But, then there's also, you know, the cost of the inflatables, the other activities that we do, the train rides. We have street performers that come, we have circus arts, we have, different dancing groups that come in, to do exhibition type things through the venue. So there's other elements of entertainment that is a part of the festival, apart from the stage. And we keep a pretty tight budget on all of that.
have you been able to increase any of your donation ask dependent upon who the headliner is?
Not really.
Okay.
Just because, you know, we talked about this week, and, you know, I think all of you in your professions, you know, you kind of get hit up for everything in town. And I just don't feel that with the size of Cersei and the, economics right now, I just don't feel that a lot of small businesses are in a position to do major increases at this point.
So you're thinking our 80 is not gonna be able to get the 60, or the top one we're talking about?
Not without making some pretty drastic cuts to the rest of the activities.
The other thing I think we could do, I think, if we wanna approve that and she can approach the top and see what the number, and she can always come back if she need little, you know what I mean, 10, 15,000, we can do quick meeting and probably give her opportunity, you know what I mean? Because I think we just talk about an asset, you know what I mean, we might probably buy the LED screen, you know what I mean, for the city, you know what I mean, for the, maybe, or just, you brought other point now, the stage, right? I think same thing, I don't know how much you spend every time on a stage, you know, now they have a portable stand, you know what I mean, if the city willing to coordinate everything, that one-time investment, we can bring a lot of even small event during the small, you know, we can tell some entertainment people, yeah, if you wanna come to Cersei when it's slow month, you can offer this kind of free stuff, then at least, you know, they can set it up and do event and bring people to the town, you know?
What about the 80 do you need to make this happen?
To
And
make
let's just
that
get down
number
to-
one, if we were to make that number one choice, I would like to have a wiggle room. I don't wanna go in straight at 60 potentially without talking to my booking agent to see what kind of, her feelings are on it. I mean, we could put in a 60 offer and they can counter. I would probably go in at about 62 and offer hotels and meals and see what we got back on that one. So so that we're looking at about a $22,000 increase from that original. But then we could back that off some if we did not book all of the new carnival rides. If we maybe only did 1 or 2.
So what's the number?
15, another
From
15,
80.
20?
Yeah, I would say probably another,
Well, if we didn't do the carnival rides, it'd be another 10, right?
yeah. So if we remove that 10 increase entirely, then that would put us at about another probably, let me think. About another 15,000 maybe,
So for $15,000,
increase.
more increase over what she's asked, we're getting top of the line. Bottom, that's where we're at.
And the majority of our advertising that we would increase, I feel like we could absorb the cost into the budget
motion, we increase it 15,000.
Second.
Got a motion by Tanya, second by Gary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go get Tracy Lawrence.
I'll do my very best. I have a draft of an offer on my laptop right now.
Yay.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, funding for the Little Red River Ozark Regional College Rodeo. Nancy?
At the last, I was asked to bring you a list of expenses, and I got this email to you. There is a discrepancy. If you look where it says stop charge, we own goats, so we donated the goats. If you'll take $685 off of that total, that is the stop charge that we paid out to $7,730, which matches on the backside the total that was spent for the event, which was $35,992. But that's a list of everything that was paid. I've already paid the insurance to host the event this year, and it's increased a little bit. It was $1,287 last year, it's $1,317 this year. I think that's just, the premium, it's the same coverage and everything, it's just insurance goes up every day. You can't predict that.
Just want to clarify, I think, yesterday email on this matter, is it even next week, March 6th already, or is it still in April?
No, it's April 16th, 17th, and 18th. But the attachment for the sponsorship package is what he used last year. I
Okay.
just kind of wanted to give you an
2020.
idea. Sorry, I should have clarified that when I sent that to you.
I think it's a great event, I think we wrote down, people coming from different states, and I think last year was a good thing, I think, we should probably,
Last year, being that early March, we had extremely, that black red winter that comes around, and that hit us that weekend, so it was cold and it was wet. The PBR was also in town in Little Rock at Simmons Bank Arena, and I don't know that that affected our crowd. It might have, but needless to say,
I hope, I think, long term, I think, as our attorney brought last time, I think, not one time, we can come up some kind of structure that we can help this type of college event every year, very
Yes.
good for Cersei, I think, which is, I like to.
I'll just say it's a great facility, and there's RV hookups, the stalls, we can accommodate, that large of an event. It's just,
Do you mind just, in looking at your expenses, you got just under 36,000. Can you tell me, just so I know I'm reading this right, what your projected revenue is?
well, last year, we collected $20,715. And that was with, if you look on the gate admission for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, that totaled $11,505. I would like to say that I predict that we could have a $15,000 gate this year, over 3 days. But now, I'm at the mercy of the weather. I'm at the mercy of, it's farther along in the semester. If there's students that don't stand a chance to make nationals, they may not participate in that last college rodeo. I don't know that. But I know this year, they've had the last college rodeo that they had at the end of the semester, they had 262 kids compete. They were, normally the slack is done on Friday to accommodate everything, and they did not have time to finish the slack on Friday to prepare to start the Friday night performance, so they came back Saturday morning and finished it for the short go, which that put people staying in town longer. It's another night at the hotel, it's another day at the restaurants and eating out.
So, you've got, I guess on this budget planning form right here, we've got, again, you had 36,000 or so in expenses, $25,000 projected income on gate admission, and then $15,000 sponsorship, which is us, right?
Right.
I guess, again, I think I've said this before, but just trying to be cautionary in the taxpayer dollars and that this is a for-profit entity, and I just wanna make sure, that we're being prudent, cause it is a little more delicate than it being a nonprofit or a municipal entity. So, I think that's my only, asterisk, or what I'm trying to figure out in
Right.
making sure we have the numbers right and what we do. Because you have a great event. We want it to be in Searcy. I think we've poured good dollars into the fairgrounds, as has the board, and what they've done out there to promote people coming and using it, and it's used a lot, and I think this is great. I just,
When I filled that out, I honestly had no idea what I was filling out. I was trying to make my event fit that application, and I just
Sure.
struggled with that, so, anyway.
I understand. Are there any other sponsorships outside of ours?
Well, the man that I listed that's selling sponsorship, he's working on that now, so
Okay.
I don't know what he's secured at this point.
Okay.
If we have vendors come out and they pay $150 to be there, I pay so much to White County Fair, so we probably make $25 or $30 a day off of that. It's just really.
Is he gonna sell banners and stuff around the
On that
rodeo? And all?
package, yes. If he-
Right, 'cause that's what you had on the.
Yes, if he sells a certain amount, and we have banners made, we hang
Yeah.
the arena, have a flag made, and, you know,
Right.
the short goat can be named after him, that kind of thing. I just don't have a secured amount right now of who's purchased what.
Do you anticipate, like, so this is for last year,
That's
right?
for last year,
Okay,
yes.
are his dollar amounts on these sponsorships gonna be the same?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
He just hasn't
Then-
secured me.
Again, I think, sure. I mean, again, I wanna state, I think this is a really great event, and we want it here. Just trying to be cautionary, like, what I would lean more towards is, you've got these sponsorships listed here, we can be the platinum sponsor. And I would feel good about that, and that, I mean, either that or some type of matching situation with a cap, just so we're not, yeah, potentially dipping into a situation where we're paying profit, you know what I mean?
We're getting something for what we're putting in.
Yeah,
In the form of
yeah.
an A&P banner and some
Yeah.
advertising.
Yes,
And I think one positive thing, I think Steve brought it last time, regardless if we give our money or not, Steve will gonna host the event, right? So that's
Right.
positive
So we're
sign. So I think,
committed to the event.
yeah.
I mean, that's, I've already, like I
So I think
said,
that's
I've
good.
already supported.
I get that.
At the fairgrounds.
I get that. I totally get that.
Nancy, I would like to see, negotiations with the college sponsor and whoever you need to negotiate with to secure a 5-year guarantee for White County Fairgrounds.
I could put ASU Searcy campus into this. We'll work on that. Like I say, that's a process in itself. That's
Sure.
out of my control, because they
Yeah.
only offer so many rodeos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel strongly that we will probably have ATU again next year.
Yeah.
But I can't answer that.
Sure.
Advisors change every year. I mean, college employees come and go. It's just a matter of if they understand what we're doing
Yeah.
or not. But I would love to have that personally.
If
I
we-
think that would be good for this.
Yeah.
It would,
It would be.
absolutely.
Good for the students in this region.
Yeah, it would be.
I like your suggestion, Chris. I like that.
Yeah, I think we can at least, you know what I mean, give her, and I think hopefully, we all pray that hopefully you can probably get all the sponsorship secured, and hopefully you just only have to reach 50% of it, and hopefully you probably reach that, and at least you will support good tech gesture from the, you know what I mean, A&P, you know, so help you reach your goal, you know. So I think, yeah, I'll put a motion to approve $7,000,
That's, yeah, well,
the sponsorship.
assuming it's the same prices as the flyer, yeah,
The flyer's the same cost, yes, sir.
Thank you, right?
yeah, that's the top one. And I would make a second, I would
So
second
we've
that.
got a motion and a second to sponsor, the College Rodeo Platinum, $7,000. This includes naming rights, bucket shoot, banner, flag, wherever it's at. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. If you have, like, where can I get a logo? Do you want it to be A&P?
We can take care of that.
Nancy, wouldn't we have some assets like that
We do have banners and all that, yes.
that could save you
But
the
if you
expense
need-
of printing them?
But if you need logos, just let me know.
Yeah, and I think Michelle probably can help you market the events, at least we can get
Yes.
visible in searches. I think Tommy can coordinate with you,
Yes,
about
yes.
marketing. Once your date is set, you can start marketing the event, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she can help post. Yep,
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you.
Matt?
Yeah, I was just gonna give some additional information to Reese's, comment regarding nonprofit and for-profit, just, so the ball tournaments that we host in Searcy that A&P supports, those are for-profit
Right.
entities. So there's already precedence of supporting activities where crowds are coming in, so I just wanted to share.
Yeah, we have done a couple, as I recall, like I think the boxing event was the same way,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
something else. So there, yes.
Totally understand
Yeah.
having to be
Right.
Yep,
cautious.
yep.
All right, speaking of the baseball program. Hey, and I want to introduce Bill Bailey.
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead,
No,
David.
no, yeah, so, I'm sure you've all heard, but Bill Bailey, he's over back there in the back, he's the new recreation manager, and started yesterday, so he's on board and
Throw him to the fire.
Started yesterday, you didn't have him presenting right now?
Yeah, you slip it, you slip it.
Last night, we're not leaving till 9:30.
Oh, shoot.
He got his first full day. He got his first full day. But no, Parks and Rec, again, is requesting $66,000 to support, the 22 tournaments that we have coming,
22 tournaments.
this year. With more in the chute, I have lunch with, Grand Slam Baseball, next week. They're wanting to come and host some tournaments here as well, so they'll have to kind of plug and play based on what we have available. But, so it's continuing to grow. I expect probably 3 to 5 more out of the spring from those guys. So,
I know this is a little off of the tournaments, but you have signups going on right now.
Yes, ma'am.
How's that going?
So, great question. So numbers are low, they're always low, right? So we get about 30 to 35% of all of our registrations the last week, which closes March 8th. Which historically, I tend to have to extend registrations a little bit. But compared to last year's numbers last night, the 23rd of February date to the 23rd of February last year, were up in numbers based off the same time frame from 2025. So, but, I mean, baseball, we're sitting at 264 last night, and the goal is to break 600. We had 597. In softball, we had 334, and we're sitting at like, we're like 60% of that right now. So, as long as we break 927, which is what we had last spring, that's the, well, the goal is 1,000, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, they've done a great job of bringing in tournaments, and I've heard from the businesses how much they want us to keep bringing in tournaments. I motion that we approve this.
Got a motion by Tommy, second by Marco. All those in favor? All opposed?
And so I do want to take a second, I know you guys probably don't hear this enough, and to include the city council, but thank you guys for your continued support, because I assure you, without this and the support of the council and the upgrades to the complex, we wouldn't be where we are with the amount of tournaments and revenue for the Parks and Rec department without us.
Well, I think that gavel swings both ways. I don't think we would be there either without the leadership making those tournaments happen. So we appreciate you guys too.
Yep.
Very good job.
All right, well, anybody got anything to add? If not, meeting's adjourned. Hey, Gary.
Yeah, just a second.
Thank you.
So I don't want to be the last.
gonna get it to Mike, because he'll get it by the end of the month.
Have you guys seen me?
We got the stuff though, right?
Yes, yes, I kept the stuff in there. Just reach out to me, whatever I can help you with. It's the same thing. Experience Cersei is our website, and that's more of our brand.
Appreciate you. Hey, thank you for having that, Cersei. I mean, we're, and so, anyway. That's, this, we went the A&P is also helping We need an invoice.
Just email me an invoice. Yeah, just
Well, the invoice needs to be the entity that's operating.
Exact same price.
So that we can cut the check and
just college rodeo, 'cause that's what they.
yeah,
Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
and put on their sponsors.
Sponsorship, yes.
That's why the value menu is so. Isn't that good? We were just talking about that. I've got some pine Roger brought us out. Roger apparently bought, Roger and Marco bought. Get some.
Give me a call,
Or that, do you have the glass?
get together and make sure that I have the dates and times exactly what they need to be.
I got two, I think I've got four.
No, that's just what he sent out last year.
I've got some true table pint glasses. So,
Since it's here, it's easier for me to have them say.
He wasn't the first.
he wasn't first, he was second.
Yeah, he was.
You know, if it's over 11, then we're not gonna have to work. So that's the limit.
We'll get serious about that. Do you have any idea what you?
Because when we do that, then I'll say, well, when we do that, we'll
One
go
acre,
back.
that 1 acre, and hey, if you need more, we can take that down some. That would help you in the future. That makes sense. If we move it to a half, to a 3/4 or a half. Look and see, and we'd like to get serious about that. So, but yeah, I mean, we don't, we took the whole acre, we would take the whole acre, but we're willing, if you need more, to move that line a little bit, to help you in the future. Okay? Cause all we're gonna do, we're not gonna build a structure. So, yeah, exactly.
Let me know when you want to talk about it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Always are.
You know how,
Let me know, Josh.
relationship.
Just let me know if you just want to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
How are you? I